Fire of vengeance. The Phoenix emerged from its quantum jump silent as death, materializing on the edge of the Voidborn's secondary military hub, a massive orbital shipyard encircling a barren moon. Unlike their previous target, this facility was alive with frantic activity. News of the devastating attack on their command center had clearly reached them. Multiple communications detected, reported Lieutenant Chen. They're scrambling defensive formations and evacuating high-value personnel. Elena studied the tactical display as the Phoenix drifted, its metamaterial hull temporarily masking their presence from Voidborn sensors. Dozens of warships formed protective screens around the shipyard, while smaller vessels ferried what appeared to be military leadership to larger carrier ships. "They're afraid," Dr. Raman observed, looking up from her station, where she monitored intercepted communications. "The translation algorithms suggest they've never encountered a weapon like our quantum cannons before." "Fear is appropriate," Elena replied, her voice cool. "Atlas, what's the status of their defensive capabilities?" The ship's AI responded immediately. "Analysis indicates their shield technology is advanced but conventional. It relies on energy dispersion rather than the spatial manipulation principles we employ. Our weapons should penetrate without significant resistance." Elena nodded, then turned to Tactical Officer Santos. "Target their primary power generation nodes. Let's turn out the lights before we start the real damage." The Phoenix's conventional particle beams lanced out, precision strikes that sliced through the shipyard's power cores. Emergency systems activated throughout the facility, bathing it in red emergency lighting visible even from their distant position. "Now they know we're here," Elena said grimly. "Tactical, arm quantum torpedoes. Target their largest warship, the one they're evacuating their leadership to." The bridge crew worked with mechanical precision, the months of training showing in their fluid coordination. Santos locked targeting systems onto the massive Voidborn flagship, a vessel 3 times the size of the Phoenix, bristling with what sensors identified as energy weapons and missile arrays. "Enemy vessels altering course," Diaz called out. "They're moving to intercept." Reading weapons charging on multiple targets. Elena leaned forward in her command chair. "Evasive pattern delta. Bring us in closer. I want them to see us coming." The Phoenix banked sharply, its advanced propulsion systems allowing it to move with impossible grace for a vessel of its size. The first volley of Voidborn energy weapons passed harmlessly through the space where they had been moments before. "Return fire," Elena ordered. "Conventional weapons only. Save the quantum systems for their flagship." The Phoenix's particle beams and kinetic projectiles found their marks with devastating accuracy, guided by targeting algorithms far beyond anything humanity had possessed before reverse engineering Voidborn technology. 3 enemy cruisers erupted in silent explosions, their hulls breached in multiple places. A direct hit rocked the Phoenix, alarms blaring across the bridge. "Port shields holding at 70%, Santos reported. "Minor damage to outer hull plating." "They've adapted their targeting systems," Atlas noted. "Their weapons are now compensating for our evasive patterns." Elena smiled thinly. "Good. They learn quickly. So do we. Helm. Execute maneuver Icarus." Lieutenant Diaz's hands flew across her console, and the Phoenix abruptly cut all forward momentum, rotated on its axis, and accelerated in the opposite direction, directly toward the approaching Voidborn fleet. The unexpected maneuver caught their pursuers off guard, allowing the Phoenix to slip between 2 destroyer-class vessels. "Quantum torpedoes locked," Santos announced. "Target acquired. Fire." The torpedoes, sleek projectiles housing miniaturized versions of the same technology that powered the Phoenix's main cannons, streaked toward the Voidborn flagship. The massive vessel attempted evasive action, bringing its shields to maximum power, but the torpedoes phased through the energy barriers as if they weren't there. When they detonated, the effect was catastrophic. The flagship didn't break apart or explode. Sections of it simply vanished, the matter convergent creating a chain reaction that rippled through the vessel's structure. Within seconds, what had been the pride of the Voidborn fleet was reduced to scattered debris and dissipating energy. Direct hit, Santos confirmed, his voice tight with controlled emotion. Flagship destroyed. The remaining Voidborn vessels seemed momentarily frozen, their coordinated attack faltering as they processed the destruction of their command ship. Alina used the opportunity to press their advantage. "All weapons, fire at will," she ordered. "Target their heavy cruisers first." For the next 20 minutes, the Phoenix danced through the Voidborn formation, its superior technology and the element of surprise allowing it to inflict disproportionate damage. Every destroyed vessel added to the confusion of the Voidborn fleet, their rigid command structure proving a fatal weakness when faced with an unprecedented threat. "Commander," Dr. Raman called out, "I'm detecting an unusual energy signature from the shipyard's central hub. Power levels are spiking dramatically." Elena turned to her. "Analysis. It appears to be some form of data transmission," Raman replied, studying her console. "Massive bandwidth. They're uploading something. Atlas is attempting to intercept." "I have partial access to the data stream," Atlas announced. "It contains astronomical coordinates, a significant number of them. Based on cross-reference with intercepted communications, I believe these are the locations of all major Voidborn installations across their territory." Elena's eyes widened. "They're evacuating their strategic database. They think they're going to lose this facility." "Commander," Chen interrupted, "long-range sensors show multiple void tiers forming at the edge of the system. Reinforcements incoming." A cold calculation ran through Elena's mind. They had achieved surprise once, devastated 2 major Voidborn installations, but they couldn't fight an entire empire alone. "How complete is the data transfer?" she asked Raman. "Approximately 67% complete. At current transfer rates, they'll finish in approximately 12 minutes. Elena made her decision. "Santos, charge the main quantum cannon. Target the central hub of the shipyard. I want that database. Diaz, plot us a direct approach vector, maximum speed." "Commander," Chen objected, "sensors show at least 30 capital ships emerging from those void tiers." "Then we better be quick," Elena replied. "Execute." The Phoenix accelerated toward the shipyard, weathering increasingly desperate fire from the defending vessels. The ship shuddered repeatedly as energy weapons found their mark, but the advanced shields held. "Approaching optimal firing range," Santos reported. "Quantum cannon charged at 95%. Enemy reinforcements will enter weapons range in 2 minutes, 17 seconds, added Chen, his voice tense. Elena watched the tactical display, timing their approach precisely. "Helm, on my mark. Execute a roll to port and bring us beneath the shipyard's plane of orbit. Tactical, prepare to fire the moment we clear their defensive screen." "Shields down to 40%, Santos warned as another volley struck them. "Mark," Elena called. The Phoenix rolled with impossible precision, diving beneath the orbital plane of the shipyard and emerging directly beneath the central hub. The maneuver caught the defenders off guard, creating a brief window where their firing solutions failed. "Fire main cannon," Elena ordered. The quantum cannon discharged, the colossal energy beam connecting the Phoenix to the shipyard's central hub. Unlike the previous target, Elena had Santos adjust the weapon's parameters. Instead of complete matter conversion, this was calibrated for data extraction. "Connection established," Atlas announced. "Accessing Voidborn network, downloading strategic database." For 30 seconds, the quantum beam maintained its connection, the technology functioning in ways even the Phoenix's designers didn't fully understand. Then Atlas confirmed. "Download complete. 100% of database acquired. Disengage and prepare for quantum jump," Elena ordered immediately. "Get us out of here." The Phoenix broke away, its engines straining as it accelerated away from the incoming Voidborn reinforcements. Enemy fire pursued them, several hits further degrading their shields. "Shields at 23%, Santos reported. One more concentrated volley could penetrate. Quantum drive spooled and ready. Dias called out, awaiting coordinates. Elena turned to Raman. Where's the nearest void-born colony world according to that database? Raman consulted with Atlas briefly, then replied, System designated N7391. Appears to be a major population center approximately 12 light-years from our position. That's our next target, Elena said. Engage quantum drive. The familiar sensation of quantum transition washed over the bridge crew as the Phoenix leaped across space, leaving the chaos of battle behind. When they emerged, a blue-green world hung before them, surrounded by the now familiar architecture of void-born settlements, orbital platforms, and defense stations. Status report, Elena demanded. Shields regenerating, currently at 37% and climbing, Santos replied. Hull integrity holding. Weapons systems operational, though the main quantum cannon will require another 4 hours to reach full charge after that modified discharge. They haven't detected us yet, Chen added. No alert status visible in their orbital defenses. Elena turned to Raman. What have we learned from their database? The scientist's face was grim as she looked up from her analysis. Commander, this goes deeper than we thought. The attack on Earth wasn't random. They've been monitoring us for decades. They attacked when they did because their predictive models showed humanity reaching a technological threshold within the next century that would make us a threat. A threat to what? Elena asked. Their dominance, Raman replied. The Voidborn have encountered dozens of species, but they categorize them as either resources to be harvested or potential competitors to be eliminated. We were placed in the second category after they analyzed our rate of technological development. Elena absorbed this information, a cold clarity settling over her. They attacked us because of what we might become. Yes, Raman confirmed. And there's more. This isn't a unified empire. There are factions within Voidborn society, including a minority group that opposed the attack on Earth. They were overruled. Elena's tactical mind immediately grasped the significance. Can we identify these factions from the database? Atlas is working on it, Raman replied. But yes, we should be able to distinguish their communication protocols and identification markers. A plan began forming in Elena's mind. Lieutenant Chen, begin passive scanning of all communications on the planet. Filter for any matching the protocols of the dissenting faction. She turned to Santos. Prepare a precision strike package, conventional weapons only. I want targeting solutions for their major military installations, but no civilian centers. Chen looked up in surprise. We're not using the quantum weapons. Not yet, Elena replied. This isn't just about vengeance anymore. This is about ensuring humanity's survival in a galaxy where we now know we're not alone and not safe. Over the next hour, as the Phoenix maintained its stealth position, they identified several key communications hubs on the planet's surface that corresponded with the patterns of the dissenting Voidborn faction. Using this intelligence, Elena authorized a risky operation. We're going to send them a message, she explained to her senior officers. Not just of destruction, but of calculation. We'll demonstrate that we can annihilate their world, but choose not to. Then we open communications with the dissenting faction. The Phoenix decloaked in high orbit, immediately triggering alarms throughout the Voidborn defense network. Before they could organize a response, precisely targeted conventional weapons struck military installations across the planet's surface, disabled with surgical precision rather than destroyed. Open a channel, Elena ordered. Broadcast on all Voidborn frequencies, but encode a secondary signal using the protocols of the dissenting faction. When the communications officer confirmed the connection, Elena spoke. This is Commander Elena Reyes of the Warship Phoenix. Your empire attacked Earth without provocation, killing billions. We have demonstrated our ability to strike at the heart of your civilization, just as you struck at ours. But unlike you, we choose to communicate before we annihilate. She paused, letting her words sink in. We possess your strategic database. We know the location of every void-born world, outpost, and fleet. We know about the factions within your society, including those who oppose the attack on Earth. To them, I offer dialogue. To the rest, I offer a choice: diplomatic recognition of humanity's right to exist, or the systematic destruction of your empire, one installation at a time. The response came within minutes, not from the planet below, but from a vessel that decloaked near the Phoenix. It was smaller than the warships they had encountered, with markings that Atlas identified as belonging to the dissenting faction. A Voidborn appeared on screen, its features similar to those they had seen before, but with subtle differences in scale coloration and eye arrangement. I am Nexer, representative of the Harmony faction. We opposed the attack on your world, Commander Reyes. The High Council dismissed our objections and classified your species for extinction based on predictive algorithms. Clearly, those predictions underestimated your ingenuity. Elena studied the alien carefully. Why should we trust any Voidborn after what your people did to Earth? Because we are a species divided by our interpretation of the same biological imperative, Nexer replied. The Dominance faction believes all potential competitors must be eliminated. We believe adaptation and alliance are evolutionary advantages. What you have demonstrated with your ship and weapons supports our position. Elena considered this. What are you proposing? A coalition, Nexer said simply. Your attack on our primary command hub has created a power vacuum. The Dominance faction is weakened, but not defeated. With your technology and our knowledge of Voidborn space, we could force a restructuring of our society, one that accommodates humanity as allies rather than eliminates them as threats. Elena looked around at her bridge crew. In their eyes, she saw the same calculation she was making, an unexpected opportunity not just for revenge, but for humanity's long-term survival. How do we know this isn't a trap? Santos asked, voicing everyone's concern. You don't, Nexer acknowledged. But consider the alternative. You can destroy many of our worlds with your technology, yes. But there are hundreds of them, spread across thousands of light years. The Dominance faction will adapt. They will develop countermeasures. Eventually, they will find Earth's survivors and complete what they started. Elena knew the alien was right. The Phoenix was powerful, but it was one ship. They could strike and vanish, but they couldn't fight an entire interstellar civilization alone. I propose a demonstration of good faith, Elena said finally. Your faction will provide the coordinates of the Dominance faction's primary shipyards, the ones building vessels intended for Earth's colony worlds. Nexer's eyes widened slightly. They hadn't known the humans were aware of the planned attacks on Earth's handful of extrasolar outposts. You have been thorough in your analysis of our database. Very, Elena replied. Those coordinates in exchange for opening negotiations. The Phoenix will lead a joint strike force, your vessels alongside ours. If you betray us, you die with us. Hours later, the Phoenix led a small fleet of 6 Harmony faction vessels toward the largest Voidborn shipyard in the sector. The operation would be the first test of their uneasy alliance, and potentially the beginning of a new chapter for both species. As they prepared to engage their quantum drives, Elena stood on the bridge, gazing at the view screen where Earth's image, pulled from the Phoenix's database, was displayed. The blue planet was scared and burning, but not destroyed. Not completely. We did not start this war, she said softly to her crew. But we will finish it, not with the extinction of another species, but with the establishment of a new order. The Voidborn attacked Earth because they feared what humanity might become. Today, we show them that their fears were justified. Not because we will destroy them, but because we will transform them. She turned to Dias. Engage quantum drive. The Phoenix vanished into folded space, carrying with it the fire of humanity's vengeance, and the first spark of an unexpected future where humans would take their place among the stars not as victims, but as architects of a new interstellar coalition born from the ashes of Earth. The quantum cannons that had been built for retribution would now serve a different purpose. ensuring that no species would ever again mistake humanity's capacity for adaptation as weakness. And perhaps in time, the wounds of Earth would heal, its scattered survivors rebuilding under the protection of the Phoenix Protocol, the doctrine that would become humanity's promise to the stars. Attack us at your peril. Ally with us, and together we will build something greater than either could achieve alone.